I got a journal. Give me just a moment, I think I'm burning my toast. Okay, so I have not burned it yet, but I purchased a journal, a blank journal, so I thought it would be a good idea to start fresh, showing you guys my process, how I journal, because I have not started a journal since last year because I took my newest journal that was supposed to be my yearly journal and turned it into a scrapbook. So anyways, I have been reading The Holistic Witch. I have it right here, and I've been taking a lot of notes in my notebook, but that is not what we're here for, so I am skipping a few pages in the book. But I wanted to talk about the most important things that I journal, because the most important thing to me about my journal is when I go back through this journal, like a year later, years later, I love reading the wonderful things that were going on in my life. That brings me the most joy. I always feel very sad to go back and read those hard days, because when you write down those hard days, it's hard to let go of them when you've kind of you've put them down. It's good to reflect and vent into your notebooks, but I always like to burn those pages, because the idea of writing that stuff down is to release it, you know? So when you keep it in a book and you go back and read it, you're like, oh, that was a really horrible thing that happened to me. And then you're mad about it all over again. But the point of, you know, journaling that stuff down is to release it and to let go of it. So going back and reading that is just putting it back in your head again. Anyways, one of the most important things to me in a journal is a gratitude portion. And so we can just call this page gratitude. And I am writing with a pencil this year. I wrote with a pen these last few years. I can't spell, okay? I cannot spell. So it's just good for me to do pencil, because I can go back and erase mistakes. And with pen, when you write down something that you didn't want to write, you have to scribble over it. And it just looks so rough. I know that pencil will wear down though over time, and when you go back and look at old writing you've done in pencil, it's kind of faded and hard to read, but I'm okay with that. That's fine with me. If there's anything super important I want to write down, I will do it in pen. So more than likely the notes that I have that I'm doing for The Holistic Witch, I'll probably go back over these in ink, or something of that sort. Coloring pencil, I don't know. But I like to do a gratitude portion, and then each month, so you can do the months if you want, you can write down the months, I will write down the wonderful things that have happened during that month. And then you can do a generalized page for just things that you're grateful in your day-to-day life. It doesn't have to be a monthly thing, but those are extremely helpful for me. I love going back and reading the things that I was grateful for, because it just makes you feel good, and it makes you smile, and it makes you feel like, okay, so wonderful things are happening in my life, you know? Because sometimes we get in our head and we think that things are worse than they are, but then you go back and reflect, and a lot of things are wonderful. So I got distracted and burned my toast, of course. So another portion I like to do in my journals is a dream log. I like to keep a dream journal, but the dream journal that I have, I wish I was a more consistent person. But I have a habit of just writing down when I remember. So I like to add a dream log to my regular journal, and when I remember, I log my dream. Dream logs, I feel like, are pretty important, because usually our dreams are whatever is going on in our subconscious mind. I do tend to write my nightmare section in a completely different section from my dream log, just because I'm not a big fan of my nightmares. My nightmares are quite scary, and I don't really want them to be intertwined with my good dreams, because I do have a lot of amazing good dreams. But in the dream log section, it's fun to have this, because I pull a lot of inspiration from my dreams, because I tend to have very wild, all over the place dreams. So when I have the dream log kind of sitting in the front with everything else in my journaling, because a lot of the times I will also use my journal. Basically, this is just me putting my mind on pages. And so if I have any cool ideas, I do like to put them in my journal, but also reading through my journal, I can pull ideas because my mind is on paper. And so whatever dreams I'm having, I can add to the log. Some of my video ideas are from dreams, and some of the writing that I do on my own time that is not public is from my dreams. I like to also make lyrics and stuff pulled from my dreams, visuals, just everything. So I find it extremely important to log my dreams. If you are a dreamer, if you dream, log your dreams. It's really fun to go back and reflect. And if you don't remember your dreams, make a habit of writing down what you can in the morning. I recommend writing it into a notebook or keeping a notebook and a pen or a pencil next to your bed or your pillow. And then when you wake up in the morning, write as much as you can remember, even if it's just a sentence. Because the more you do that, it'll become a habit, and then you'll start remembering your dreams more. So, yeah. I like to decorate the pages that I'm using, so I did a little dream log, and then I'm adding some stickers. I don't like to overfill the page with details until I'm actually done with putting the important stuff on the page, so in this case that would be the dreams. I do like to make sure that the page is filled with the information I'm actually trying to put on there, but then I like to go around and decorate, and make it look pretty. One of the last things I will add for this video is I like to dedicate a page to goals for the year. Realistically, a journal should last you almost a year, because they usually have about, so many pages. And if you use it consistently, usually mine last the entire year. So I like to set goals for the entire year. And these are just personal goals that I like to reach. And your goals will be personal to you. But I always have fun going back and rereading my old journals where I have set goals for myself, and seeing that I achieved them is really fun. It makes you feel good. So yeah, that is one of the things that I like to add to my journals. Goals, gratitude, and a dream log. Those are honestly the most important, key parts to my journals. Of course, doodling throughout and adding, your own charm to them is fun too. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, and thank you for watching.